criminals. Predatory criminals will use that con to put your guard down. Same thing. You're in Boston one night. You're out with a couple of your friends, and a guy walks up to you. He looks articulate. He's well dressed, and he starts asking you questions for directions or something like that. He could be setting you up. He could be working with another person. As you're talking to him, you're focusing all your attention on him. Someone could come up from behind.
Wow.
So I mean, the con can come in many, many different ways.
Right, and it can end. And it can end with a violent situation.
Well, yeah, if someone's going to con you, they're either going to try to scam you out of money, that type of scam, or if it's a physical con, they want to get into your house. If you're a young girl home from school and you're homesick and you're 15 years old, someone knocks on the door and says, cable company, we're here to fix your internet. If the guy's articulate enough and he looks normal, he might be able to talk his way into that house. Yeah. Now, what's he going to do once he's in that house? We've had cases like that in the North Shore of in Boston, Massachusetts. It's very common. It usually doesn't lead to a sexual assault or someone getting murdered. It usually leads to someone breaking into a house, conning an elderly person out of some money, someone saying they're selling magazines or something like that. Yeah. It's usually more money-based than it is physical violence-based, but it definitely happens in the physical violence arena.
Okay, and that's the con. Yeah, I've lost my money. I need money to get home.
Yeah, I need money for a cab, but whatever they say, and they try to appeal to your sympathy. And if you're a good-hearted person, if they came to my house, I'd tell them to fuck off and get out of here.
If you're a good-hearted person, though,
but they should look on the door. It says armed homeowner willing to shoot you.
Yeah.
So don't even come to my house because I don't even want to hear your con.
All they've got to look at is the I believe everything from Fox News bumper sticker on your minivan. That'd be all that I would need to think. I'm not going to con that person. He's savvy.
Now, the other two are a surprise attack and a blitz attack. They're very similar in that the surprise and the blitz. The surprise is, let's say you're a jogger, Dave, and you jog every morning at 5 a.m. and you do the same route. Now, if I'm a predator and let's say you're a girl, you're an attractive girl, and you jog the same route all the time, and I want to do something to you, I might be hiding in the bushes.
Let me ask you this question. Yes. How's my time in the 10K? Pretty good? Am I pretty good runner?
You're a 6-minute miler.
All right, excellent.
You can probably outrun this guy.
That's the next key. Yeah. Anyway, so there's going to be a surprise, which is basically I'm running the same route all the time, which a lot of runners do.
Absolutely. Same pattern of behavior, whether it's running or whatever it is.
He picks up the mail at this time. He does this at this time. He goes to
the gym every morning. Whatever he or she does. It's usually a she. It's usually a she. If you're loan shark, you owe some money to your loan shark, and they know that every day at 8 o'clock you're leaving your house to go to school, then they're going to wait out in front of your house, Dave, and get you there.
Okay.
But with females, it's usually based in some sort of a sexual type scenario, whether they're going to just grope them, whether they're going to try to sexually assault them, however that's going to kind of go down.
Yeah.
So you want to be aware of that. And the blitz one is also a surprise, but a blitz attack usually involves a weapon, and their intent is to kill you. Bottom line.
Intent is to kill me?
Yeah, intent is just the blitz attack, and we use that scenario again at the furniture store in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago.
Horrible.
That was a blitz attack.
Yeah.
It was a surprise, and it was a blitz altogether, but the blitz was the knife and the killing.
Right, and so they basically approach you with a concealed weapon, out comes the concealed weapon, and it's on.
It's on. So in that scenario, you made a good point. If you're a fighter, you're going to have to fight there because someone pulls a weapon on you and they come at you with a weapon, you have no choice but to fight. You're not going to talk them out of stabbing you or shooting you. But if you're a good runner and you're out jogging and you think you can outrun this guy or this girl, have at it. Because if that's what your strength is, your ability to run, then use that in comparison to your inability to fight.
And it seems like we're coming back to the same lesson over and over, which is you should set up a little dummy and you should just practice trying to kick the dummy in the nuts.
Well, it pretty much goes back to being in the zone also, always being aware. Obviously, you don't want to, and I do it myself. I'll go for walks and I'll have headphones on.
Yeah.
And I'll walk. Not the best thing because you're not aware of your environment. So if someone was to sneak up on you, they're going to get the edge on you.
That's everybody.
But the difference between yes.
That's everybody under the age of, or let's put it this way, that's everybody, and it's especially everybody under the age of 35.
Oh, yeah, everyone jogs with their headphones on.
Yeah.
But the
they
difference
walk
between
by
me
and
and
they
them,
talk
Dave,
to themselves. It used to be you would hear people talking to themselves.
Just
and you would
talk to
think to yourself, "Oh, they're crazy." Okay, but now they're not crazy. They've just got
you
talking
want
to
to just
somebody
zone out, but you want to be in the zone.
Right.
So what I would highly recommend, because it's what I do have headphones on occasionally,
Yep.
but I also have a sidearm on me in my jogging outfit.
Carry a sidearm at all
I carry a
times.
sidearm. It's right in my little sweat jacket. So you might get the jump on me, but...
Yeah, but
unless you drop me to the ground, I got a gun within 1 second reach.
What are the statistics on handguns that you're much more likely to shoot yourself than you are to shoot an assailant?
If you carry a gun, you better have the nerve to use it, because if you carry it and you don't know how to use it, or you think you're gonna pull it out and intimidate someone, you're not going to intimidate a criminal. You're not going to intimidate a hardcore criminal.
Yeah, that's one of the single things that we're seeing. You see it over and over again. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Rittenhouse is a perfect example. I'm sure
an assault rifle, and they still came at him.
Yeah.
Because they're different people. They don't value your life. They don't value their life. Many times they're highly intoxicated, whatever drug they might be using. So that lowers their inhibitions.
There's also in a riot, you've got the emotional contagion of the riot and the huge, the aggressiveness that creates within the mob. So yeah, how many people have you shot in anger? Anybody? You haven't shot anyone in anger.
No.
That's the thing. It's like, all right, so you carry a sidearm, so you're recommending that we all come armed.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's your constitutional right, whatever weapon, whether it's, if you don't want to carry a gun, then just pepper spray is fine. Mace, pepper spray, that'll take.
How about a taser?
A taser?
Do you need a license for a taser?
Yeah, you do.
That's a shame.
And a lot of states aren't legal, but in Massachusetts, they're legal.
It would be a wonderful thing if you could just bring a taser and just buy it and just give it as a gift, stocking stuffer. All right, so what?
This is for you, Dave. I'm going to ask you these questions.
Okay.
What would you do?
Oh, perfect.
We got 40 minutes in here, Dave.
All right.
Of Street Smarts 101.
We'll go through this like a lightning round.
All right. Person tries to pull you into a car or drag you away.
There's two ideas.
Yep.
All right. I've got two ideas. One is I just make my body wicked, wicked heavy. But the problem with that would be, first of all, I'm a very svelte individual. But the other problem there is if I make myself dead weight, it'll be hard to drag me into the car, but I'm also putting myself in a vulnerable spot.
Now you're on the ground.
I'm on the ground, right? So my other plan would be, they try and pull me into a car, I would basically just get in the car ahead of them, and I would slam the door and I would drive off. Am I right so far?
Well, you got some good ideas there, Dave. They're creative. When someone if you're a 12-year-old girl, and you're walking down the street, it's 10 o'clock at night. I don't know what you're doing at 12 o'clock, a 12-year-old girl at 10 at night.
Let me guess, she's carrying gear from a comedy show.
Yeah. Whatever she's doing, some guy pulls up to her, tries to drag her into the car. If that was my daughter, I would say, you never want to be taken from a primary scene, which would be the main street, to a secondary crime scene, because, yes, go ahead, Dave.
You don't go anywhere with them.
Yeah, because once you go somewhere, regardless of what they say, I won't hurt you, whatever con they're going to try to sell you, they want to get you to an isolated location. And if you're talking to a young girl, it's to sexually assault you. If it's a guy picking up a young girl, it's to sexually assault them. So if you go to a secondary scene, you're going to get sexually assaulted unless you're able to fight it off. Now, what's that person going to do to you? Are they just going to let you go? But you'll see that secondary crime scenes are the most deadly of all crime scenes. So most people taken from a primary scene to a secondary are killed. So if you know that going in, you want to fight for everything you got during the first confrontation once you know they're trying to drag you away.
And what about my dead weight idea?
Well, see, most people don't try to drag adult males into a car. Right. You're talking adult females, absolutely.
Right.
All right. Young females, absolutely.
But a young female is not going to have the weight to support the idea of just going limp and being dead weight.
Yeah, there are some trainings out there that say go dead weight on them, but at that point, you drop to the ground, and unless you're a ground fighter, which most people are not ground fighters, you want to be up on your feet and at least have some ability to defend yourself, if not run away.
So what you're saying is fight, fight, fight.
My instinct would be to fight, but you have to go with your instinct.
Okay.
is to fight. In most situations, once someone's trying to drag you somewhere,
Yeah, you don't have a lot of choices.
yeah, you better fight on that one.
Yeah.
Because were you going to trust that person just to sexually assault you, then let you go? Are you going to allow that to happen?
And am I correct to say that the self-defense teachers would tell you, you go for the nuts or you go for the eyes?
Yeah, because if you go for the groin,
I'm sorry, the
PG,
groin.
it's a PG show, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go for the groin. Most guys will be incapacitated on that. And if you can get their eyes, most guys will. They really will. It doesn't take much.
It takes a direct hit. It takes a direct hit. I mean, trust me. I've had plenty of. I've been in enough fights to know.
You've had enough kids at the park kick you in the nuts when you try to hang out with them, right?
I got to tell you this.
12-year-old kids.
I've seen. Well, back when I was a teenager and I would get into fights, a direct shot takes you out.
So if you got one shot, that's where you're going.
Yeah, but if you've been fighting in the, let's put it this way, it's easy to miss.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's easy to miss, and that
Right.
pretty much brings us to our next scenario, Dave.
Okay.
Someone pulls a gun on you and says, "Get in." Now, this is very realistic for you.
Yes.
You're walking down the street, full-grown man.
Yep.
Someone pulls a gun on you and says, "Hey, asshole, get in the car." What do?
I don't get in the car. Oh, I'll tell you what I do. I do one of two things. I either get close enough to him that I think I can take him out by taking a shot of the gun, taking a whack of the gun and bull rushing him, or I basically make a move toward the car and then turn and go the other way, and I run as quickly as I can to cover, because I'm a big target. On the one hand, I'm a big target.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, he may not shoot me. He may decide it's not worth his effort, or he might miss.
You got a couple of options here. Your first option you talked about, someone pulls a gun on you, and we talked about this a few months ago. There was a Marine out in the Midwest in a convenience store. Someone pulled a gun.
This guy. You love
I
this
love
story.
him. And he grabbed the gun, and he diffused the situation.
Yeah.
That's a high risk, high reward scenario because you got one shot to grab the gun, and he was able to do it. So if you're not focused on doing that, your other option, you could get in the car, but we just talked about secondary crime scene. So that wouldn't be your best option. If there's 10,000 people that get shot a year, only about 25% of them actually will die from the gunshot wound. They'll still get shot, but they'll survive the gunshot wound. So you may get shot.
What are my percentages of
You get about 75% in your favor that
So
you're probably going to get shot, but you're not going to die.
Okay.
But then again, you throw in the variable of you start running away. Now, once you're 20, 30 feet away, the odds are 75% that they're not even going to hit you.
Do you know how long it takes me to run 20 or 30 feet?
Well, hopefully
5 minutes.
Well, I don't know. You're a sports guy. What are the pro athletes doing? And they do 40 yards in like 4 seconds.
I can tell you what my teammates used to say to me in baseball. They say, so when you run a 40-yard dash, do they use a sundial?
Yeah, so running away from a person who has a gun on you, when you look at it realistically, it's actually a good alternative because the farther you're away, the less likely you're going to get hit. And even if you get hit by the bullet, very rarely will you die. So you have a bit better chance of running from a gun than you do getting into the car.
Yeah, don't get in the car. That's the number one. The number
one thing is don't get, whether you fight or run is on you.
If they get into your space,
Yep.
the house.
Yeah, someone breaks into your house.
Somebody breaks into your house, or you're stupid enough to let somebody in to use your phone or some other crazy.
Or your door's unlocked or something.
Does this? I assume this can also happen with somebody that you know.
Well, obviously, a lot of
the better you know them, the less likely.
Most people are victimized by someone within their inner circle anyway. We're talking like what we're talking about today, street smarts. We're talking more about the unknown offender, the random guy you just happen to run into by chance. Most people are victimized within their inner circle. Domestic violence, you owe a friend some money, guys and girls messing around with their husbands and wives, and there's some sort of a situation like that. Mm-hmm. The odds of being victimized by a complete stranger, Dave, aren't good. It's rare. It's rare that something like
this
that would
is why
happen.
I go out with the women that I do.
Yeah, so someone comes into your house at 10 o'clock at night, and you're home with your daughter, and it's on, brother. You better be prepared to neutralize that as quick as you can. Yep. Now, if you run out of the house with your daughter, then that's a great thing. Yep. But if for some reason you can't get out, you're in your
my daughter's
bedroom
my daughter's on the second floor. Right, yeah.
Yeah, you can't get out, then what do? Yep. So anyone who breaks into your house day or night, more specifically at nighttime, is a very high risk to you and your safety. So you better
They might not be intending to kill you.
Well,
but
anyone that comes into your house at night,
know.
unless they're just drunk and they staggered in.
What about a drug addict who's trying to feed his habit, trying